This is the Padua Podcast Network.
Most plants reverse the process at night. They expel carbon dioxide and absorb oxygen. Running a Fever, episode 175, 5 health benefits of houseplants. Welcome to the show. I'm Michael Davis. I love my life so much I want to make it last as long as possible. This is a show about fitness, diet, and medicine because we want to live a long, healthy, happy, active life right up to the very end. You know what it is? You know what today is? It's another beautiful day at Lake Fayetteville. I didn't look at the temperature, but it feels like it's in the 70s, might be 80. It's a nice breeze going, so maybe like a wind chill in the 70s. Well, you don't usually talk about wind chill in June. Something going on today at the Botanical Gardens, I noticed. Some live music there, amplified music, I noticed, which is, I think it's kind of strange because it's Tuesday. But it may be something they wanted to attract people during the week. They've got a special occasion going on, I'm sure. There was an episode of Wonderful Life with Tom Rohr in which he talked to a botanist from Botanical Gardens, and she talked about all the different events that they have there. And it's a very active place. But yeah, I had to come out here today. It was just too beautiful not to come out. And it's been over a week since I've been out walking, so this activity is really tied to the podcast. So if I feel like walking, I better have something to talk about. And today, that something is the health benefits of houseplants. This idea came from super listener Hank, who also happens to be my mother, who presented me with a houseplant not long ago and sent me a link to the article, the main article that I'll be talking about today, which was from treehugger.com. We're not just going to talk about houseplants, we'll talk about some other things, but I think it's really appropriate for me to be walking along in this bastion of nature in the middle of a populated area. It's also kind of, I took a little more precaution today. I put sunscreen on and I've hydrated very well before coming out here. 40 ounces of water, just pure water, and then a couple of supplement drinks dissolved in water. So I think we're going to be just fine today. The temperature's not too extreme. I am wearing compression pants, which are probably a little bit too warm for today, actually. Probably didn't need that, but it feels good, you know. Plants are not only decorative, but they're good for your health, and here are 5 reasons. We all know the benefits of fruits and vegetables, the plants that we eat, that are important to our diet, and if we eat them in a healthy way, they can benefit our health in that way. But have you heard that just having these plants around your house or your work, office, or wherever you work can make you healthier? So according to the article at treehugger.com, here are the 5 benefits. Number 1, better breathing. Number 2, staving off illness. Number 3, cleaner air. Number 4, speedy healing. And number 5, better work performance. All right, sounds interesting. How can we do this with just having more plants around? These are all based on some kind of scientific evidence, I suppose, but I'm going to take a look at each one and see why plants provide the benefit and what evidence there is to support that. This article is mainly based on a Texas A&M article from a Texas A&M website that is much longer and goes into a lot more benefits than just the 5 that I'm going to talk about here. All right, so how can plants help us breathe better? Well, when plants are in photosynthesis, that process whereby they take the energy of the sun and convert it to value for the plant, nutritional value, I suppose. During photosynthesis, plants take in carbon dioxide. They absorb it from the atmosphere and release oxygen. Now, I learned something new from this article that I didn't know before. Most plants, actually at night, when they're not involved in photosynthesis because there's no sun or light, most plants reverse the process at night. They expel carbon dioxide and absorb oxygen. This is something that Al Gore probably never told you, or any of those carbon exchanges that buy trees. There are some exceptions though, like orchids. So that's what you should put probably in your bedroom. You're going to get more oxygen there. Since humans take in oxygen and we depend on it, the more oxygen in our atmosphere, the easier it is to breathe. And the more valuable our breathing is, I suppose, per breath, you get more oxygen. So that is the thinking behind the breathing benefit. Deterring illness. Well, plants release moisture into the air. And normally I wouldn't, this is kind of counterintuitive because normally I think of, moisture as an environment in which, bacteria grows and things like that. But apparently for the flu virus, it is not beneficial. Detrimental to growth and survival and spreading of the flu virus. But plants, in addition to giving off oxygen, they take in the water that you give them, and it evaporates. There's a fancy word for this. I can't, transpiration or something like that. It's just really evaporation, like in the same way that, we sweat and that evaporates from our skin. It's kind of the same kind of process. Cleaning the air. Well, this is a study by NASA, and it's interesting. I found a link, and this is in the show notes. Link to an old typewritten paper from NASA. But it's interesting. They found that plants reduce pollution. So there's a really sort of dramatic chart that shows how, philodendron plant and an aloe plants is what they used for the test, and they showed a chart with a dramatic reduction in formaldehyde in particular. This is one of the pollutants that they were looking at. I didn't read the whole article yet, but I did notice that particular one was pretty dramatic. So it shows a definite effect, apparently. And of course that's linked in the show notes. That's NASA. I also noticed there's a TV series that I watched and I enjoyed quite a bit. In fact, I think I've watched most of it twice, called The Expanse. It's a science fiction show, and they had plants in areas strategically for cleaning the air. That's not science fiction, that's science fact, according to NASA. Healing. An article on that Texas A&M website cites a number of benefits of plants in homes and workplaces, including acceleration of the healing process. And this was discovered when they studied recovery rooms in hospitals and noticed that patients heal quicker. They heal faster. But they attributed this not to some chemical process within the plant, but in the stress relief from having those plants around as decorative items. Even having a view through a window of nature was helpful in this respect. Interesting. I wonder if having pictures of plants has the same effect. Maybe I should put a plant background on my computer and see if that helps me at work. I don't know. Side note, I do have kind of a nature stress reliever at work. I do often have on one of my mini monitors on my desk, have 5 monitors on my desk. And one of them always has usually a video of either a rain window with rain outside, or a desert scene with blowing sand, or a fire in a fireplace. It looks like they play that one in the winter. So that, I believe, helps in my stress relief and makes work less stressful and probably more productive. I don't know. If what I'm reading is true here today and what I'm talking about and what these articles tell me, then that's probably the case. This idea of quicker healing due to just the decorative nature and enjoyment of the plants and just viewing them. So yeah, that reinforces the idea that stress, is really important. And stress we've talked about, and I believe is important. That's good to see. Summer baseball going on right now. I'm trying to finish this theme that stress is a killer, It's very harmful to your health, and managing stress and stress relief is going to be important to longevity. Saw that in the supercentenarians. Plenty of evidence of that. Plants help in work performance? How is this possible? Well, the same report claimed that being in nature increases the energy levels. It encourages a positive outlook on life. And I can attest to this personally. I mean, I've talked about how I come out here because I really need an uplift. I need to escape from the stress of life, and just it always makes me feel better coming out here. That's the bottom line. Even if, like today, I'm having a little bit of trouble with my knee, the old injury coming back to haunt me. So there are many more benefits. I recommend that you read this entire Texas A&M page that's going to be linked in the show notes. Very interesting. And this is all, they all have references to the studies and that support these claims of benefits of plants. So I think I'm going to get some more plants. I mean, I already have that one house plant, and I have some flowers in my garden. I say garden, it's a big pot on my patio that has my basil and pepper plants, and got a couple flowers in there. So that's good. I can go out and get some of that just right on my back patio. And I'm all for anything that improves my health, especially my mental health. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode and you got something out of it about plants and how they can help you improve your health mentally and physically. So if you got the fever, keep it. If you don't have it, catch it. Catch the fever. runningfever.com. And I will talk to you next time on Running the Fever.